Hello and welcome to the Pear Blossom Press YouTube channel. My name is Lynn, or LV Handcrafted across all of the socials, and I want to teach you how to make a light up card using the One Light. Your options for getting One Lights are you can get it as part of the Halo Light combo, which comes in a 6-pack and in a 4-pack. So if you get the 6-pack, it's 2 Halo Lights and 4 One Lights, and if you get the 3-pack, it's half of that. Or you can get them by themselves. And if you look, the two sizes are a little bit different. The button for where you turn it on and off is positioned a little bit differently relative to where the light is. So whichever one fits best for your card design, there's multiple different options for getting your One Light. Now, if you've never made a light up card before, I'm going to show you just how easy it is. The first thing that you need to do is install the battery, which does come included. And you'll find that on one side of the battery, there's lettering with the plus symbol, and on the battery holder, there is a plus sign. So you want to be able to see both plus signs. Then look for this curved notch. Your battery can only go in and out from that curved notch. Now push all the way in until you can't push it any further. And if you need to replace the battery or you change your mind and you need to use a different type of light, then don't leave the battery in. You want to push it out. Now to get it to remove, you want to push from the flat edge all the way as far as you can, and then you can pull it out the rest of the way. So remember, that curved edge is the only way in and out for your battery. Don't forget to actually push the button to make sure that it lights up. I've never had an issue with the One Lights, so I don't think you will either, but it's good to test it now before it gets installed into your card. I'm going to be crafting with some goodies that aren't even on the market yet. So you're going to get a little sneaky peek at some upcoming new releases. This is the Crafty Crew kit for July, put out by Crafty Stamp Company. It includes a 6x6 paper pad, 2 4x6 stamp sets, a 6x6 stencil, and lots of other little goodies if you subscribe and get the kit automatically every 2 months. Now I've already colored up my images and I've got her ready to go. I've also picked out one of the pattern papers to craft with, and so I've got all of my design elements ready to go. Now if you are interested in picking up the Crafty Crew kit, then you need to pre-order this before July 15th. That's the deadline for the Crafty Crew kit. However, on July 15th, this comes out, which is the Easy Wonder Die number 3. And July 15th is the special date. So Crafty Crew kit deadline is July 15th, so be sure to check that out first. Then on the 15th, you can start to shop the Easy Wonder Die from the Not Too Shabby shop. And this is these are all of the elements that I'll be crafting with for my card today. And I want to show you how to put together this card from beginning to end and really talk through how to think about your light up card and where to position things and the considerations that you want to keep in mind as you're designing your card. So the first thing is that I've got this layer of solid color cardstock. I have this die cut, which came from the Easy Wonder Die number 3. It's the postage grid. I also use the die to cut out a sheet of pattern paper, and that gives me these little postage stamp size designs that will layer on top of that postage grid perfectly. And so this is sort of a little bit of a dry fit of how I think I might like my card to look. So I'm going to layer these little postage stamp designs right into their respective grid designs. I love this pattern because it's not too small, but it's also not too large. Cut into these small rectangles, you can still appreciate the images. And so I've got this lovely image that I've stamped and colored already. Now, your first question to yourself is, what do you want to light up on your card? For me, that's going to be that flame in the lantern. And so the next question will be, where do I position this one light so that the flame will light up? The one light, to identify where the light is, it's that yellow rectangle that's opposite from the button that pushes the light on and off. So the next consideration, if this is where I want this gal and it's where I want the light lantern and where I want the light to shine through, I also have to consider where do I want the button to turn the light on and off. So if the button is on the right there, part of the challenge, because I'm using a postage grid with all of those holes through the center, my light actually might be visible through those little holes. So I have a second option of orienting this light so that it's completely hidden behind my postage grid here. So you can see that's going to fit totally within that one block or grid location in the postage grid. And so I think this is the layout that I want to use. So if we want that light to really be nice and bright, we need to actually make a hole in order for the light to shine all the way through to the front of the card. So I'm going to start by poking a hole through the flame using my pokey tool. And the reason why I like using a pokey tool is because your pokey tool comes to a very sharp point. So be careful when you're doing this not to injure yourself. But the further you push your pokey tool through your cardstock, the larger the opening is that you'll be creating. And so you can actually vary how big of a hole that you need to make. And for this, you don't really need that large of a hole. So once I have that lined up where I want, I just use a pencil to transfer that location through by just marking right through the hole and putting a pencil mark onto my postage grid. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I am going to poke a hole through my postage grid here. And the postage grid is going to be what will hide my one light. So now that I have both of those where I want them, I can just test. Look how bright that's coming through now. So you can actually see that when you get the light in the right location, it's going to shine through and be very visible. So now that I have all of my elements, I know where everything needs to go, I can really start to assemble. This first layer can go down flat to our card base because my postage grid is large enough to hide the one light. So my one light can just sit right on top of this. So that layer can go down first. Next, I'm going to go ahead and decorate the postage grid while it's nice and flat, and that way I have fewer moving pieces as I assemble this card. So I just want to use, you can use whatever adhesive you'd like. These are sized so that they cut out perfectly and layer perfectly so that you have a nice stitched border all the way along all four edges of each of these little postage stamp size pattern papers, and you can fill this space with anything that you'd like. I think pattern paper is just really nice, especially one like this, because it's got a lot of little scene elements, and so it helps to create a really nice foundation background for our card. Next, what I want to do is now I need to actually think about adhering this postage grid to my card base. And the perfect foam adhesive for that is, of course, the world's best foam tape by Parrot Blossom Press. There are some properties of this foam adhesive that make it really perfect for any kind of crafting that you need to do where you want to add a lot of dimension. And the first property that I rely on quite a bit is the fact that for about half an hour, the adhesive is repositionable and it won't tear up your cardstock if you have to lift it. Now, what I want to do is be careful that I only put foam adhesive behind my postage grid, and I have all of those holes through there. So I think the easiest thing for me will be to actually put adhesive on the grid itself as opposed to on the card base. But before I start to do that, I needed to transfer that location of where my light should be so that when I glue my light down, I know where the light needs to be and how it needs to be positioned on my card base. So I did that same trick of using a pencil through the hole to transfer that location onto my card base. And now what I can do is just put foam adhesive everywhere that I feel like I need. And I like to be generous with the foam adhesive so that you don't have any saggy areas. You can see it lifts up really easily without tearing your cardstock at all. So you don't have to worry about that. I did outline earlier where my one light needs to go. So I'm being careful to not put any foam adhesive where I know my light will be. And that was the only reason to outline the one light onto the back of this postage grid. Okay, so now I can actually install my light, and it's as easy as just adhering it down. I like to use liquid adhesive, but you could use some double-sided dry adhesive if you prefer. And it really doesn't have to be straight up and down so long as you have that light shining through your hole there. And I'm going to make a little bit of a mark so that I know where to stamp the instruction to press and turn on the light. And so I just want to make sure that I dry fit everything as I go, always testing my card along the way so that I know it still works, everything is as it should be. And the last couple things that I need to do are to stamp out that word press and add my sentiment to the card. So the Pear Blossom Press action stamp and die set, they come together, has a lot of different options for all of your action words because there are lots of interactive supplies from Pear Blossom Press. And so what you'll find on the stamp set is probably the word press has a lot of variations, which I really appreciate. And then you're going to get other action words like pull, scratch off, remove, and the new action stamp set has the word blow for the candlelight. Okay, so I am going to remove some of that foam because I need a nice flat surface to stamp the word press onto. And so you can see how having that repositionable foam adhesive is really nice. If you were using any other kind of foam adhesive, a high quality foam adhesive that's really sticky, that would mean that you might have to just toss that foam adhesive because it might have torn your cardstock. If it tore your cardstock a lot, you might have to start over with a new panel. But I didn't have to worry about either of those things because this Pear Blossom Press's World's Best Foam Tape, it peeled off without any effort at all, and it didn't tear the cardstock one bit. But give it enough time, about 24 hours, and that's going to be a nice permanent bond, and you won't have to worry about it after that. So I love that feature of this adhesive. It makes it really friendly for crafters like me who often kind of forget a step or two and do things out of order. It's really nice to be able to kind of peel it off and still be able to use all of my supplies and nothing goes to waste and I don't have to redo anything. So the last thing that I'll need to do now is to actually position my sentiment. So as you can see, making a light up card can be really easy. I know sometimes when I watch tutorials, it can be hard to know the thought process that goes into designing the card. So hopefully giving you all of those ideas for things that you should think about, considerations you should keep in mind when you're designing your card. Hopefully that helps you to create your next light up card. And I'll leave links to all of the things that I crafted with today, including the lights and other lights that are available at Pear Blossom Press, as well as the pre-order link for the Crafty Stamp Company's Crafty Crew Kit for July 2025. And lastly, if you are interested in getting the Easy Wonder Die number 3, which is where this postage grid die cut came from, I will leave a link to that as well. If you want to pop on over to my channel, I've got some live stream secret special sales going on. And so if you want to join me live, you'll have the first opportunity to purchase Easy Wonder die number 3. And those live streams will be on June 9th and June 11th. But the dies will go on sale on the Not Too Shabby shop on June 15th. So it'll be available for everybody then. Thanks for checking out my video today, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye.